Welcome back. If you're trying to figure out how to price your first coaching program, then you're going to love this video. So I have created a video on how to price your high ticket coaching program, and I will link that video right now in case you want to take a look at that. But this video is more for the beginner coach, someone who is just trying to figure out, how do I price my coaching packages? I've never really even asked anyone to work with me as a coach. And so you're just getting started. So I wanted to create a video just for you. And there's 3 things that you need to consider when you're trying to figure out how to price your coaching packages. The first thing is, how much access are they getting to you? And when I talk about this with clients, it's really an aha moment for them, because I explain to them that, for example, my coaching packages are essentially the same, from the course to the group coaching to the one-on-one coaching. In most cases, I'm helping you create and fill your coaching program. And so, for example, I've got the course called Create and Fill Your Coaching Program. The group coaching version is, you've got clients. We're doing a little bit of a different way to fill your coaching program. And for some people who don't have a coaching program, we're creating it in there also. And then I've got my one-on-one, or like my retreat, or, each of those things where we're still filling your coaching program. And it's just a matter of the steps where you are in your business. If you're ready for, that high level where you're ready to come to the retreat and get that royal treatment, or maybe right now you're in a place where you just need to kind of hunker down and you're in DIY mode where the course is going to be the best fit for you. The idea is that it's the level of access that you're getting. So when you're thinking about your coaching package and pricing your coaching package, you want to think about, what is the level of access that that client is getting to you. In a course, the idea is that they're not getting very much one-on-one access. You might have a student group to go along with it, but some courses don't. I actually just purchased a course that doesn't have a student group to go along with it. And it's because it's a self-paced DIY, something I can listen to while I'm doing my hair and go over the assignments in my own time. And so that's the idea behind a course. So if you've got a course, the pricing is usually going to be on the lower end, somewhere under $1,000, simply because that level of access is limited. Now, in some of my courses, I do have a student group. So in some of my courses, I do have a student group that goes along with it. And sometimes I do live streams inside of that course group. And I'm still there as an active participant if there's a student group, but the level of one-on-one access is just not there. Okay. So then you've got your next level of access, which is usually a group coaching program. So in a group coaching program, the student and your clients, they do get an additional level of access to you. Typically, you're doing group coaching calls. You're doing some sort of weekly call or bi-weekly call or monthly call, or however you have it scheduled. And you're giving them the opportunity to ask their questions, to personalize their experience through the program. That's usually what we set up inside of You've Got Clients. Is I help my clients set up a group coaching program, usually based on their one-on-one program. And typically my clients who are in Create and Fill Your Coaching Program, they're kind of in the beginner stages like you are, and they're still working on their first one-on-one program. And so we kind of work on that, and then they're ready to take that program, come into You've Got Clients, create their group coaching program, and as well as the webinar to continue to pack it full, because you can only do so many one-on-one calls, right? Then from there, in your group coaching program, you might include, student homework review. Maybe you throw in a couple of one-on-one sessions if there's like a VIP level. So you've got a lot of flexibility with what you can do in a group coaching program. But remember, the level of access is still, everyone's essentially getting the same content at the same time, and they're still getting that same level of access. There's no one-on-one time unless there's like a VIP version. Then the final and the third level of access you have is that one-on-one time. It's in-person time, it's one-on-one calls. And so I've got some clients who have been at that one-on-one level. And one that I'm working with right now in particular, she has access to me via Voxer. Voxer is just like a voice instant message app. And so anytime she has a question, she can just send it on Voxer. And, I typically respond within a couple of hours. And that's the level of access that a one-on-one client would get that somebody who's in a course or group coaching program would not receive. Okay. So that's the first thing to consider when you're thinking about pricing your coaching program. You've got your course, which is usually under $1,000. Your group coaching program is usually under $10,000. And then you've got your one-on-one, which is going to be, anywhere above that $10,000 level. The second thing to consider when you're thinking about pricing your coaching program is, what is the end result that they're getting? And then how does that affect their life? Now, I did talk about this a lot in the other video, but I do want to go through it again. So when you're thinking about your coaching program, what is your goal? What is your ultimate outcome that you want that client to achieve? Then you've got to start thinking about, where does it affect their life? So all of the places where it could affect their life. There's a copywriter that I follow who talks about ripple effects and domino effects. And that's really what this is right here. So that means that, once this gets changed for them, and once they're able to get that outcome and that end result that you're giving them, what are the ripple effects? Meaning, what other things and other areas of their life are affected by them getting this transformation and getting that end result? And then secondly, what are the domino effects? So once one thing happens, what's the next thing that gets affected? And then the next thing that gets affected in a sequence of events. The way that he explained it and the way that I understand it is, a domino effect is like, for example, if your outcome for your client is to understand what foods work best for their body, then the next thing might be, well, that's also going to affect your skin, because now your skin is going to be healthier. And then that's also going to affect your, ability to sleep or whatever it is. And then a ripple effect might be something like, well, now you're going to be more confident in taking photos because your skin is much more clear. So that's something it's a ripple because it's affected by their transformation, but it's not a domino in the sense that it happens in sequence. I hope that makes sense. That's essentially how I understood it. So you've got to figure out, what is that transformation and how does it affect their life? Once you know that, and I really recommend that you take a moment to sit down and write it out. And I always say write it out versus just type it out, because I feel like creativity flows a lot easier through the body onto a pen or pencil and onto a piece of paper versus typing. It also gives me the opportunity to kind of write in a haphazard manner, and I can write in different corners and make connections. And I just feel like writing is that much more effective. So sit down and write down, what are all of the ripple effects? What are the transformations? What are all the things that are going to happen in their life as a result of getting this result? And if you don't know what that end goal and result is, well, you've got to figure that out before you get to pricing. And that comes with creating your coaching program. The final thing and what I want you to avoid, and that is avoid the hourly coaching trap. And the reason that this is a trap is because you are never going to be able to truly calculate the value of your hour and your time, because it's going to be different for every client. Every client is going to have a different end result, a specific, let's say a more personalized. Every client's going to have a personalized end result based on the actions that they take and based on what they do with the information that you give them. So because you're coaching and you're not just doing a done for you service, the value of that time you're providing is going to really be affected by the actions that person decides to take. And therefore, if you try to price it based on how much you want to make per hour, if you're like, well, I just want to get paid $125 an hour, but you work with the client and they're able to have a huge impact on their life that brings them, thousands and thousands of dollars of value, you're not actually pricing yourself right. You should be pricing based on that transformation that you offer. Also, the hourly coaching trap really limits you in the amount that you can earn, because you only have 24 hours in a day, and hopefully you're getting a good 8 hours at least of sleep. So that means you've got 16 hours left now. So you really want to start thinking about leveraging your time, working with more clients at one time. But before you get there, even with your one-on-one programs, you want to price based on packages. Now, I do talk about this a lot more in my latest training, all about 5 steps to get coaching clients fast. And in that training, I'm going to give you the 5 simple steps that I use for myself, as well as to help my clients to create and fill their coaching programs. If you'd like more details, you can just click the link in the description box, or you can go to latisha.tv/coaching. It's a short link. It'll take you right there. Okay. If you've got more questions, please leave them in the comment box. If you're unsure how to price your coaching package, or if you want to give me an example and you'd like for me to answer that, feel free to leave that in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay. Bye.